Nada повторить музыку, которую играю. Мы уже на эфир, я так понимаю. На Facebook? Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to History Makers Training June 2018. Today is the last day, and I'm here with the delegates. History Makers Training. Guys, let's put our hands together and welcome our friends on Facebook. Woo! Okay, we are about to start here, but as you can see, we are ready to take picture with DSA. So as you come in, go invite your friends, tag your friends, and join us. DSA is going to be teaching tonight. It's going to be another awesome time. So don't go anywhere and stay with us. Thank you. and he's going to tell us what he has been experiencing here. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Runshewe from the United Kingdom. Today is the last day of the HMT. It's been a wonderful, awesome time. We've had a great time, enlightenment, great information to make us impact my world and also to create influence out there. There's a lot I've gathered. In fact, I'm extremely excited. Extremely excited. I've been able to information when you gather information, it enlightens you. And this is what we need. These are the times that we need to liberate it. These times, the time we are right now is the right time. We need to hear the truth because people have been brainwashed, especially when it comes to the church. The church has really brainwashed us with a lot of false doctrines that has to do with money. You know, the god of Mammon that has been passed over to us over the years. The doctrine, the gospel of prosperity that has been brought in from different religious leaders. They've brought in corruption into the church. And people like me and other of my team, people like me and other guys that have come to joining this program, we really want to fight this corruption going on. So my advice to you guys out there is, if you cannot be live in Ukraine to be part of this, we're having our next HMT program is going to be in November. If you know you can't be part of it, just keep on following DSA. Now, listen to this. DSA is a man that has a heart for the people. And this is the ministry of Jesus Christ, our Lord and personal Savior. When he was on earth, he had a really big heart for the people. And this is one of the main reasons that got my attention to DSA, and one of the main reasons that made me to choose him as my mentor. A man that has the heart for the people. Not this bunch of religious leaders, greedy leaders, because I have to watch my words. Greedy leaders, brainwashing people, taking advantage of people, enriching themselves, living in making their own empire, building their empire. As a matter of fact, these leaders are taking advantage of people to build their own personal empires. And we cannot keep on folding our arms and saying, God is in heaven. God is going to intervene. Let's keep on praying for them. Oh, let's keep quiet. Don't worry. Let's not judge. We're not judging nobody. We're not criticizing nobody. The only thing we're trying to do here is we're trying to stand for the truth. Simple as ABC. We're trying to stand against false doctrines. Simple. So, please, guys, this is I don't want to take it personal, right? Honestly, I don't want to take it personal. But my advice to you guys is, you need to be open-minded and be sensitive. Be sensitive in the sense of, I keep on telling people, when you want to know, when you want to follow someone, the number one thing you need to be sensitive of is, what does this person represent? Forget about, oh, he's criticizing pastors, he's judging pastors. Let's put that aside, yeah? Let's brush that aside. Let's focus on what does this man, what does he represent? That's number one. And then number two, what is his motive? So these are the two things we just need to focus on. This man, God has raised this man at a time like this. So guys, wake up. He doesn't need nothing from us. He's been sorted. God has used him over the years. He's impacted lives. And he's still impacting lives. Okay? So this is very simple. And this is the message. A man that has a heart for the people, just like Jesus Christ had a heart for the people. So please, guys, if you know you can't be part of the next HMT program, which is going to be in November, keep on following him and brush away all these people trying to come up with their trying to. Let me tell you something, guys. Yeah, they're just trying to bring this man down. Okay? Because they know that this man is a threat. Yes. He's a big threat. Yeah? He's a threat to these guys. So, enough of all this manipulation. We've had enough. As a matter of fact, it got to a stage I had to say to myself, I don't want to be going to churches and be hearing about money. Okay? We're not here to live for money. So, what we on earth is to fulfill purpose and change lives. And this is what this man is out there for. He's ready to train people, to develop themselves, embrace the truth of the gospel. The gospel is based on Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness. End of story. Forget about all these prosperity preachers. Oh, I've been ordained as a prosperity preacher. Guys, come on, guys. If this guy has been ordained, if this preacher has been ordained as a prosperity preacher, yeah, they would have liberated the whole world financially. Okay? So wake up and enlighten yourselves and embrace the truth.
Okay, gentlemen, would you please stand just behind the first row? All the men, then all the women.
Maybe the woman first.
Oh, no, first. Women first. I'm sorry for the first time, please. I meant men alone, the women alone.
Okay, the video. Ladies. Is it not one by one?
No, all together first.
You don't start one by one. Every year. Every year.
And I'm coming for the next one too.
So it's going to have a lot of collection.
will not use it today. Thank you. Okay. Hello, everybody on Facebook, on YouTube. Welcome back. Today is Sunday, so some of us went to church, and I think I should apologize for those who couldn't make it to church because I didn't know that they were not going to be having classes or seminars in our absence. I thought I was the only one going to church. Then people began to appear one by one. And it's not fair that we took some and we didn't take some. So next time, but somebody blame it on the fact that people didn't indicate interest on time. But I would have said, Mayowa and Babusha, if you knew that there were not going to be classes in the morning, we could have arranged for all of them to go to church. You know, because I'm sure some people wanted to. But maybe you had a good sleep. No, you are doing assignment. Okay. So what do we do now? Do you want us to? Normally what we would normally prefer to do at the last class is to just fellowship and have heart-to-heart discussion. But if you want, we could also teach. But I think that I don't even know what you will do with the teachings you already got, and so that is because you still have to go through them to review them and be able to live them, to be able to practice them. But you tell us what you want to do.
And we missed the teaching.
You missed the teaching?
The teaching of yesterday.
Yeah. So what do you want to do? Do you want to get the teaching, or you want us to fellowship? Anything you say is what we do.
I will go for the teaching.
Okay.
Do the teaching and then close it up with the fellowship.
There will be no time. All right, let's do the teaching. So the teaching that we are having this now, that is no problem. Można that. Okay. Ne tak de wczorajszym demy sprawili, które my sprawili nazwane. No będzie nazwane postawili drugo. No тогда вчера же была уже загружена. Okay, so we are going to do the teaching then. And the teaching of today is changing Africa through divergent thinking. Changing Africa through divergent thinking. Changing Africa through divergent thinking. All right, here we go. Changing Africa through divergent thinking. All right, can we go now? Okay. Is it on? Is your microphone on? We have to change the microphone for. Okay. So if you are watching us by Facebook or by YouTube, please go ahead and and share the message. Share. But tomorrow, I'm starting another series tomorrow. And the series that we are starting tomorrow is going to be called How to Know God. That kaknas was after. How to know God. How to know God, or how to carry God, or how to be a God carrier. How to know God. So that's a new series right there. Okay, how to be a friend of God. How to know God. How to be a friend of God. It's like double title like that, right? Or should it just be one of the two?
I think two is good.
The two is good. How to be a friend of God.
How to know
Which
God.
one should come first? How to know
How
God
to know God and how to be the friend of God.
and how to be a friend of God.
Yeah.
Do we use and or we just put how to know God and
How to be a friend of God.
or dash how to be a friend of God? Comma,
How to be a friend of God.
comma. Okay. How to know God, comma, how to be a friend of God. Julie, what are you saying?
I was just saying semicolon.
Hmm?
I was just saying semicolon.
Semicolon. Is it colon or semicolon?
Semicolon.
Is it semicolon or comma?
No, the right way is to have a semicolon, but you don't like us with a semicolon.
In the title.
Yes.
Not that I don't use semicolon, but in title, I'm not sure.
It's okay.
Comma, eh? So, how to know God, how to be a friend of God. Panelada. Unfortunately, Adeshola is here, so I'm not sure she has her equipments to do all the adverts and publicity. The banners. Adeola.
I'm going to start it now. I've got my equipment upstairs. Been upstairs.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay, package it. Ubiri to me. Yeah, I do. All right, so divergent thinking, changing Africa. Go ahead, sir.
Changing Africa through divergent thinking. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you can't seem to find the right answer or solution? If so, then you may want to apply divergent thinking. This creative thinking process examines the different parts of a given topic and then helps you formulate several possibilities to solve it within a short time period.
Yep. So divergent thinking is another way that we could change Africa. So how can we use divergent thinking to change Africa? Divergent thinking is going to be a very effective means and method to change Africa, especially since Africa is already behind the world. And since Africa is already behind the world, what we need to do in divergent thinking is to study what has made other nations great, especially in any direction. So let's say technology. We can pick 10 technologically developed countries, study their different methods and systems and strategy, and then when we put that all together and pick the best way that it will work for us, that is what we call divergent thinking. So we could bring the thinking and the secrets of all these nations together and use them to develop our own program. So it's supposed to be easy for us now to to develop more rapidly, especially if that is, we shouldn't rely on our own knowledge, on our own resources alone. We shouldn't rely only on our own manpower, but we can actually use divergent thinking and branch into the wisdom and the experiences and the resources of nations that have gone before us. So that is why I'm saying how to transform Africa or change Africa through divergent thinking. Divergent thinking, if we understand this topic and we know how to use divergent thinking, actually development should be easy for Africa. It should be easy, an easier process than it is for Europe or than it is for Asia or for any other country. I think Rwanda is doing well with that now, but the whole of Africa needs to embrace divergent thinking and begin to use the strategy of getting what other people have done. Basically, that's what countries like Taiwan, South Korea, China, that's what they did. They just tapped into what Japan, America, and other people have done. Yes, initially they used to call them copycat, don't buy made in China, made in Taiwan, made in South Korea. But now, they've turned it around and they are even better than the people they used to copy.
divergent thinking and convergent thinking.
Conversion.
Convergent thinking.
Yeah, conversion thinking is just depending on your own resources, what is inside, using only the things that are inside, inside resources. And if I'm going to describe the situation in Nigeria right now, I would think that Nigerians have the tendency to think that they are better than everybody else. And because we are thinking that we have the, if you listen to Nigerians, they will tell you, we have the brains. We have the brains, only we don't have the leaders. We don't have the brains. We don't have enough of those brains. Oh, we have the resources. We just don't have the leaders. We don't have enough resources. I was trying to talk to Showore that time, the politician guy that I interviewed, about the fact that, do you know that Nigeria is a poor country? He would not agree with that because the stereotype and the way Nigerians have been taught to think is that Nigeria is a very rich country, which is a lie. Nigeria is not a rich country because we don't produce wealth. Let's say, for example, Nigeria, our whole output, even including our oil, everything we produce in a year is just about $30 billion. Then we have another $30 billion come from our diaspora. So $60 billion. Compare that to $1 trillion that is produced by Germany, and we are about 2 times or 2.5 times the size of Germany, and they are doing 1 trillion and output, and we are doing 60. Is that a rich country? Compare that to South Korea, that is doing something like 700 billion. And it's about 3 times smaller than Nigeria, or 4 times smaller. And you are saying we're a rich country? We don't even know what it means. Compare that to South Africa. Even though our GDP is higher than that of South Africa, but they are so small compared to us. They are not even 30,000. Are they 30,000? Or 30 million?
There's about
50 million. So if they are about 50 million, I mean, how many times are we bigger than them? 3? 4 times. About 4 times bigger than them. And if we produce what South Africa produces at 50 times 4, I mean, we will be in the trillion. We are a poor country, but Nigerians would never like to agree with that. And then we are a poor country. Any country that 50% of the population is not literate, there is just no way you can call yourself not a poor country. You will be poor because all the 50% that are literate are producing to carry the weight of the other 50 that are not literate. So you have already lost 50% of your population that there is no way you can compete. So countries that are small, like Sweden, they have bigger production than us in a year, productivity. Sweden, Finland, these small countries that are just less than 10 million, those are rich countries, but we are a poor country. That is why by the time everything we produce, right, all our wealth, all our raw materials, by the time we divide it per capita by 1 person each, then we are one of the poorest countries in the world. That means we don't have wealth enough. But by the time you divide all your wealth among your population and you are still up there, that's what they call rich country. I mean, if look like even when I was talking about raw materials, look at Saudi Arabia. That's a rich country because by the time you divide what their output is even bigger than Nigeria, but they have to divide that among maybe 7 million people or 5 million people in Saudi Arabia, but we have to divide our own, which is less than their own, among 200 million people. And you're saying we are rich country? You don't even know the definition of rich. Oh, we are rich potentially. We are not talking potentially. Let's talk realistically. Anything that you have not developed is a dream. You are in a dreamer's world. Let's talk about what we produce. We don't have industry in Africa, in Nigeria at all. No industry, no one industry. All those things that, I was interviewing one of my disciples here one day. He said, I'm a manufacturer. I said, You mean it? What are you manufacturing? She said, I have this extra room in my house. I put chemical together and I make soap. I said, So I said, what is the definition of manufacturer? I thought she was talking about Rolls-Royce company or Mercedes or Volkswagen. Everybody is giving themselves title in Nigeria. I said that kind of business she's doing, she's not even registered in some countries because it's not even regarded as a company. Homemade production. We don't have industry. As long as we have industry, Coca-Cola. Oh, wow. You mean the one they are just putting it into the bottle? Is the money coming to you? Coca-Cola is in your country because they are taking the money from your country to their country. You don't have industry. No single industry. You're like, this one is, she's a tailor. She's this. Industry. You don't even know what industry means. If you have industry, you'll be producing everything. You'll be building your bridges at least, your road at least. Go to South Africa. You think they are going to import people from England to come and build their road? Rubbish. They have industry. They do it themselves. Because there are companies that produce their steel, that produce their this and that. So we're a poor country, and thank God I'm going to have this Kingsley Mogalu soon, I hope. When is it coming? Do you know when it's coming? On the 10th. I must have him of July, right? I must have him before I have another Davidson. There is one Davidson, Oluwa Mayowa or something his name is, from America or something. Oluwa Mayowa. There's one I told you I want to have, but that must come after. Just write the name down to remember. It must come after Mogalu. He's not a presidential candidate. He's just a scientist. So anyway, convergent thinking, the tendency of our pride that we have enough, we have all we need. Okay, like that. That's my Showore. When I was talking to him, I said, where will you find people? Where will you find ministers? Where will you find your governors and your senators? Say, you are saying we don't have people. We have people. Nigeria is produced this. Wole Soyinka, Nigeria produced somebody else. Nigeria produced this. Nigeria produced this. Okay, even if you have one here, is that they will not come to your government now? Where we don't have manpower. Our indexes of human resources is 196 out of 200 countries in the world. We don't have manpower. But we are so self-confident, we think we have what it takes. It's just like I was listening to some of our, one of my bishop friends. I was saying, how do you think Nigeria will do in the soccer? That, we don't have anybody in the Premier League. We don't have anybody in Real Madrid. We don't have anybody in Barcelona. We don't have anybody playing in the good teams. He said, no, when it comes to football, that one, we are good. We are good. I said, He said, don't worry, our boys are good. No. When it comes to that, we don't. I said, you have not been winning the Olympics for how many years? Nothing. But don't football. But when it comes to football, no, we are. You see, confidence. Nigerians are so overconfident. Empty confidence, not based on any facts or any, just that, we have some, is it what they call it, megalomania or what they call it? What's the word? Megalomania or what? Yeah, we are suffering from it. We are suffering from megalomania. I tell you that. Nigeria is suffering from that. Can you imagine a country like US that has all those things? Or even England, I don't say. They talk less than Nigerians. That's why we will score one goal and we will turn the whole world upside down. And I was listening to one journalist when they scored against Iceland or something. Iceland that has only 300 and something thousand. You score against them, you have 200 million, you are rejoicing. And then, then the journalist say, our people, Nigerians have taken over the whole of Russia. It's the whole of Russia. Yeah, the one that is the ones that are winning, what will Brazil say? What will Argentina say? You say you have taken over the whole of Russia just because you score one goal? I said these people, their mouth. So that our big sense of self-sufficiency. There is a plus in it that we don't suffer from complex. Nigeria doesn't have problem with complex. Nigeria is the other problem we have. Too much confidence. So that's why. But convergent thinking is thinking that we're okay. If I have any opportunity to be in government, to have any opportunity I'm going to invite the best English people, the best Americans, the best Japanese, the best everybody. Let them work together with the best Nigerians. That's the way everywhere, in every ministry, I'm going to best practices and the best, but try to do that in Nigeria. When America is doing it, they are getting the best from England is doing it, all those countries, but Nigeria will not do it because they will criticize any president that will try that. They will criticize him. They will force him out of government because they will say our people nobody is better than us. You see, that is convergent thinking, and that's what we are having right now. Convergent. That is our own resources. We are this. We can do it. But divergent thinking is what we need for Africa. Divergent thinking will help us to move forward. I don't see, if you go to Nigeria right now, the only place where you are going to see, put on the light now first. Okay. Is it not? No, it's working now. Are you sure it didn't come on? I think it's on now. So, the only area where you find foreigners in Nigeria are mainly in the area of where? Oil. Because they cannot do it themselves. Though they need oil companies to have. That's all. But they need to have them everywhere. For example, they have not been having any medal in the Olympics. They're supposed to bring the best trainers, the best coaches, and pay them money. But we must get our own divergent thinking. It must be our own. Indigenous. They have something they call indigenous something. Indigenous. So something. Everything must be indigenous. Okay, you have indigenous, but you'll be the worst in the world. So that is convergent thinking. But what thinking we need that will develop Africa is divergent thinking. So what will you say it is what will you say is the difference between convergent thinking and divergent thinking? But the one I'm zeroing in that is going to help Africa is divergent thinking. So who knows the difference between divergent thinking and convergent thinking? Okay. In simple words, divergent thinking is looking for answers outside. It's having questions. Divergent thinking is based on questioning. Questions. Where can we get help? Where can we find what we need? Where? They are looking for questions. They are questioning. They are looking for answers. They are questioning. But convergent thinking is we already have answers. We already have answers. It's answer-based instead of question-based. Anything that is answer-based is self-sufficient. It's pride. It's relaxed. It's comfort zone. But when you are question-based, you are looking, you are seeking, there is place for development. You see that? Let's look at this photograph. Can you show the photograph? Show it big. Just show the photograph. Kuda Pashla. So when you look at the photograph like this, you will see that talk about it. So you see that the divergent thinking is question based and looking for it. Look everywhere from itself outside, looking for ideas, idea, right, left, and center, north, south, east, west. It's looking for ideas. It's going everywhere looking for ideas, seeking. Questioning, asking. That is the mentality that will grow, of growth. That is what Japan did. They sent their children everywhere to study, to get the best brain and get the best education. China. And that's why they're going. But convergent thinking is that we are good. We are the best. We have what it takes. If you talk to Nigeria, we have what it takes. You will not hear Nigerians say we don't have what it takes. You will not hear Nigerians say we are poor. You will say we are rich. They already have answer. Nigeria is always answer based. We are already rich. We have what it takes. No, we are not better than, no, nobody is better than us. We already have answers. And when you are answer based, you are satisfied. So you focus on the fact of what you already have, and you close in. You see, close in. This one is going out seeking, and this one is self-sufficient. Close in. I don't know if you people are getting what I'm trying to say. And for me, it's a big challenge. And I'm just looking at the cabinet of the president, Buhari, And I'm thinking, okay, even if you don't want to put foreigners as ministers, put them as experts everywhere. Let them help us build our civil service all over again, like before the British went. Let them bring it back to that state again. Let them come and why don't you have military? Put them in the military. Let them become experts. Even there are mercenaries now, companies that can trade, that can be there for you. I don't know. Oh, they will say they are not indigenous. Oh, white people are taking our place. You want to grow? I don't know. This divergent thinking will bring about change in Africa and growth. Okay, let's continue.
Divergent thinking is a form of creative thinking. It examines a problem using more of an out-of-the-box mindset.
Just looking for answers. Always looking for questions. Questioning. Always questioning, looking for answer. Out of the conventional understanding of things.
Applying divergent thinking isn't a difficult process if you know what to do. Number one.
So how do you apply divergent thinking to transform Africa? Number one,
create solutions to problems.
And if you cannot create it, look for people who can create it or who have already created it.
Creative thinking. What is it? Who is it for? Who are you communicating with? How it works?
You see, all of them is questioning. Questioning. That is the basis of divergent thinking.
How to access, what you need, why, how, what. What if, instead of settling for a status quo answer,
which is what I'm attacking now about Nigeria, status quo. Oh, we have this.
Instead of settling for a status quo answer or no answer at all, you can try to solve the question by asking, what if I tried it this way?
Like, for example, this our headsmen killing. Why is it that our pastors are not trying new ways? The same thing they are doing every year or every time there is a crisis to cause. We are going to cause them. We are going to kill them. They are not even trying. Could there be any other way? Could there be any other approach? For Nigerian man, it doesn't exist. He just is very sure of what he's doing. There is this guy, Charles Awuzie from South Africa. He's a Nigerian, but he lives in South Africa. Who wrote at the article and said, Bishop, he wrote a letter to Bishop Oyedepo and said, but he was actually directing that letter not just to Oyedepo, to Enenche, to all those other people. Say, but the one you caused last year, he didn't die. Because you caused Boko Haram that it will be finished, it will be dead. The thing is still operating, and now you are using this, you are causing again. When would this thing end? How this you're causing? When they stole the 200 girls, they caused also. All this you're causing, they are not working though. That is, that is not divergent thinking. That is not creative thinking. They are not looking for new ways that could bring solution. The same thing with the way church is run in Africa. Do you know that Nigerian Christians, they believe that they are the best Christians in the whole world? Can you?
Yeah.
They believe that their churches are the best. They have the best churches, the best pastors. That's what they think. Oh,
That's why they say God is sending them to America, sending them everywhere.
yeah. They are not thinking that they might learn, or there is something to learn from anywhere else. Oh. They don't even believe there is anybody that can teach them anything. So I tell them, they said, oh, you are the only one who is seeing problem in Nigeria. I said, me, I'm the only one. Go to Western churches. Some of them are even living in Europe. Go, make you enter church and go see. The relationship, not dancing. Because they say, they don't dance like there is no anointing there. They are self-satisfied. They think that because they have big people, big number, big number of people going to church, that means they are better than everybody else. It is convergent thinking. That is even in our churches. And that is because of that convergent thinking, when they get to London, they go to their own churches. Mm. Yeah. When they get to America, they don't go to other American churches to go and see. Go to Germany, it is their own, it's convergent. It is converging their own people because they think nobody is better than, there's nothing to learn. Okay, let's say there's nothing to learn in America. So there's nothing to learn in England. Mm. Okay, nothing to learn in England. There's nothing to learn in Germany. Don't nothing to learn in London, nothing to learn. You are just the only one that's okay. It's not,
And with the little ones, they're not even moving forward. I think we should be seeing results.
We are not seeing any result now. It's called convergent thinking. And it must be challenging all over our Africa. Even our parents. You know, they will be telling you as their children that they are bringing up. Even in Europe, they will be telling you, don't look at the white people, don't copy them, or don't learn from them, or don't. And you remain in England, and you will still be a Jegule boy. Even though you are born in England. Because they will not tell you, no, thank God that they go to common schools. That's the only thing that's saving those children. We should change our own mentality in Africa from convergent mentality to divergent mentality.
It is better to have tried and failed than to live life wondering what would have happened if I had tried, by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Trying new things, attempting new things, asking questions, going to new territories.
It is a thought process used to generate creative ideas by exploring many possibilities.
Because you will never look for new ideas when you think you are satisfied. Then you are okay. But when you know that you are not okay, no matter how good you are, can you imagine how good America is? They are still giving visas just for new people who might have new ideas, who are experts in different things up to today. They are not satisfied. They are not assuming that they are already better than the whole world, even though they are already better than the whole world.
Instead of taking obvious steps and walking along a straight line, one looks at different aspects of the situation, creating different results.
That's why we will score one goal, win one something, and we think we are the best in the world. What about if you happen to have everything working? That's why this crisis is for the good of Nigerians. Because it will change us. But it might not change us if you don't even know what to change or how to change. If nobody comes to tell us that, we'll change, we'll just be suffering and be complaining.
Divergent thinking encourages seeking and considering, one, new and different methods.
Look at those shoes, for example. The middle one is the standard way of doing something. But divergent thinking will look for new ways. Even though you already know how to do it, but you are still looking for new creative method of doing things. Constantly looking for new ways. That is divergent thinking. But convergent one is satisfied. So I already know how to do it. Okay? So it's looking for new and different methods.
New and different methods, new and different opportunities, new and different ideas, new and different solutions.
That is what the whole idea of convergent thinking is about.
2, use the right brain hemisphere.
Yeah, because a lot of us were just satisfied. We just say, okay, I am not artistic, or what they call it, I'm not into art, or I'm not
Artistic.
creative. I'm not a
or
creative
innovative
person.
or-
I'm not a creative. I'm more a analytical person. The other one would say, I'm just. You know what I did for myself? I knew that I was better with. I was not good with pictures. I don't see pictures. I just think. I like to think. That's my own natural. Something. I like to think things through, but I don't see pictures. You know, some people when you are talking like that, it is in pictures they are seeing it. But I didn't have that. I still don't have it. But what I did is that I went to take a class because I discovered that thinking alone, my own, is just the left. Is it the left? The left hemisphere of the head of the brain, for men. You know, logical conclusions like that. And I knew that I was weak. I cannot even draw. I don't even remember things. I just think. I don't like pictures. Not that I don't like it. I just thought that's not me. So what I did is that I went to listen to somebody who was training people on how to use both sides of your hemisphere. So I bought the materials, I bought the CDs, I bought the tapes, I worked on myself. You know, I did this for 6 months, working it out until I became almost equally as good, working with my right hemisphere of the brain and left hemisphere of the brain. But you know what most people do? They are convergent in their thinking. That is who I am. I'm only good in drawing or in pictures or in this. I'm not good in, analytics or mathematics. Or the opposite. I'm only good in thinking, analytics, logic, but I'm not good in creativity. Why should you put a what? A lead on yourself? Why will you put a lead on your own self? That is not divergent thinking. Divergent thinking will say, but some people are able to think like that. Some people are able to use, to if somebody is using the left hemisphere or right hemisphere, let me go and learn the other one too. That is divergent thinking. Look for answers. Keep on seeking. Ask yourself questions. Discover how to do it in a different way. Okay?
Number 2, use the right brain hemisphere. The left side of your brain is rational, analytical, and controlling. Our right hemisphere is where we acquire our creativity, intuition, and emotional expression. Left brain, logic.
So this is the diagram, you see. Right hemisphere of the brain and left hemisphere of the brain. So the left hemisphere of the brain is responsible for logic. That is the left side of the brain. That was what I was naturally, left side of the brain. Logic, analysis, sequencing, linear, mathematics, language, facts, things in words. I like to express more in words, not like in writing. But in words, things in words, words of song, computing and computation and things like that. But the right brain, people who have the right, they are more comfortable in creativity, in imagination. They just imagine things. They see things in pictures. They have holistic thinking. They have a lot of intuition, grown intuition, developed intuition. They are good in arts. They are good in rhythm. They are non-verbal, non-verbal, they don't express themselves too strongly in words or writing, but they are good in feelings, in visualization. So I developed visualization by myself. Let me tell you one of the exercises that I used to develop my own visualization. I got to a place whereby each time I read Bible, that Jesus went into Capernaum and with his disciples. And each time I read anything like that, I began to see it. Before I couldn't see, but I just imagine. I just stopped. Before, it was okay for me just to read and get information. It went there, okay. But now, to develop that right-hand side of the brain, I began to picture until I began to see Jesus in white and things like that. Then when I got to Israel, I had already seen Israel before I got to Israel. They had learned everything. That is just one of the exercises that I use personally. So these people are good in the dreaming, picturing, and things. So let me ask you, let me give you an assignment right now. Do you recognize yourself? No, this one you don't need to write it down. This one is you, everybody has to speak. Do you recognize yourself? Are you naturally right-sided, right or left hemisphere of the brain? Who would like to start? All of you have to answer. And you describe yourself, how you interpret the world, what comes out for you naturally.
I think for me, straight away, I know I use the right side.
Right.
More than the left.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because I see things in pictures.
When you are listening to something.
Basically, yeah. Even the way I learn in pictures, because even in my work, once maybe we want to start a new project, for example, and they're kind of like describing what we need to do and all that. In my head, I'm already drawing a picture. So once I come, the first thing I ask is, do you have a diagram?
Okay.
A diagram that shows you the architecture, how the other third-party software interfaces with the platform I want to use and all that. Once I see it in picture, like you're saying now, if I'm reading the Bible, for example, and I read words, to me it's just words. But until I can begin to visualize those words, before it will start making meaning to me. Like when they say, like, the two disciples was walking the road of Emmaus or whatever, and Jesus was walking. In my head, I'm just like seeing Jesus with the two of them walking.
Can you believe it? But me, I never knew there were people like you before. Until I studied this subject, I never knew there were individuals in this world, though, that were seeing the world the way you are talking now. Because the way I used to, my own is, if I read it, that Jesus was walking, the disciples were walking and Jesus came up to them, I don't need to see picture. For me, just hear that. For me, it's already enough. I understand what it's all about. It's not like just words. For me, it's as powerful. For example, do you know I don't watch movies? I stopped watching movies because of other things, but I don't even like watching movies because when I watch, for me it's too painful to watch 2 hours movies, and I will just learn one little lesson there, 1 or 2 lessons. I would rather read book or write book, because for me, what I said, why do you people need it? I don't understand, because people tell me that the information gets to them better when they see the movie. The movie, the sound. And for me, when you do that, it's like you are telling me I'm foolish, that I'm not able to. I got that even before. I don't need the sound, I don't need the picture to say. I just had it. I already know that's what happened. So when you now put picture to somebody to play it, to act like that, you are wasting my time. I already got that. How can you be acting one little truth out for 2 hours when I could have read 50 pages and gotten more 100 lessons, and you are just spending one lesson just to go? Somebody has to put the sound in your ear, has to put the picture in your eyes. I used to find it difficult that people are wasting their lives watching movies. And I'm always concerned that, why is it that people, it's like you are just laughing at me that I am not intelligent when people watch movies. That's why I don't watch movies. It's a waste of time. If I go there, I go and sleep, because I would rather read it. If they have the script, I will read it. I understand better than when I watch. Because when I'm watching, somebody has to interpret to me what is going on. So I never knew before this time that there are individuals in life, that is the better way they communicate or they understand life. But now, the reason I'm explaining all this is that, do you also know that there are people like us, like me, in the world before you, that, you didn't know, right? That so they don't need to see anything. They just need to hear and they're okay.
No, because for me, long before I came across this left or right brain issue, and I always thought that people saw things the way I
Okay.
They saw things in picture, they imagined.
You used to think everybody was like
yeah,
you.
because I love imagination. That even reading, I easily get into reading. As in, yeah, as in, people wonder because when you sing a song in a party way, if the drum, for example, does not align with the keyboard sound,
Okay, now
it becomes
let
an
me hear
issue.
Shinwe. I think she understand what I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask, you see the way I describe myself and how I describe the other people as if they are foolish.
Yeah.
I now want you to explain to me, how do you people understand people like me that don't need to see picture, don't need to see movies, don't need to... Do you know there are people like that they are human beings like us?
I
like
didn't
this?
really know because now you explain it. It should be the reason I always quarrel with people.
Okay.
Because I'm very sure of what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I met you 20 or 30 years ago, I could tell you the dress you wore that day. I could tell you this is the dress you wore the day. You might not even know. You understand? When I was growing up, a lot of things were happening to me because I was imagining things. I see pictures.
You could imagine.
Yes, I see pictures a lot. Even talking to God, when I'm asking God questions, I'm imagining seeing him. We are talking that it got wasted in my teenage age. I'll be writing him letter, imagining he's replying me the same letter.
You are
know.
lucky.
Even when
Because
I
you
was...
had to develop that.
No, I didn't. Then I thought it was really a problem because after watching films now, I can remember when I was very small, I watched film and entered the kitchen. They forced me to go and wash plate. I came out screaming because I watched a film of lion. I was telling them that I saw the lion live.
Hey.
Yes, I saw it live, and they didn't want to believe me. I just opened.
So you have effect, strong effect.
Yes, it's very strong. So that's why.
But you don't know that there is another side.
That's the reason I quarrel with people. Because I just want you to understand this. I can give you... Because I will tell you the fact that everything... I don't forget things. Even while I was in secondary school. Just because our teachers, they knew me that I don't copy. Some of them say, if you go this way in your external exam, they're going to mark you down. I think that's where I had problem. Because I will close my eyes and I will see my textbook. I'll close my eyes, I will see my notes, and I'll be writing everything like that and give it to you the same way you gave to me those days. So a teacher was canceling me.
Picture.
Yes, he was canceling me. He said you should come
So
back.
it means it's very developed with you.
Yeah, from
creativity. Then you are supposed to be good in creativity.
Yes, I do. I come up with a whole lot of ideas.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I'm a woman.
But is there any other person also here in this hall that is also left-sided brain that doesn't need picture, doesn't need just hear? I just need to hear. You are like that.
Yeah, with me, I know I function with the left brain, but then the question I have, is it possible for one to switch from one side to the other? Because I remember...
No, why should you switch? You can learn it and combine.
No, not really, because I remember when I was a bit younger, I was good with drawing. And with a whole lot of other things.
But it means maybe you are not exposed to too much literary something. That was what you were exposed to that time when you were younger.
No, because along the way, I started reading a lot in my younger age.
And you will move to left.
Yes.
I think you were originally left, but your process of learning started with picture. That with the right. But when you got to your natural flow, you left, you abandoned that. It is left.
Because I love
that is more
reading.
Natural for you.
Yeah, I love
that
reading.
That is like me.
Yeah.
Like people wonder, how do you write? For me, it's not. I wonder why you think I cannot write. I'm surprised. Like there's a friend of mine we have here, Arams, Dr. Arams. He said I cannot even write one book. To write one book, he's been writing one book. Is it 5 years or so? He's struggling. And I cannot understand. Me, I can write. For me, it takes 5 days to write 50,000 words book.
Wow.
It's just okay. But to draw, it can take another 10 years like him.
I could draw very. In fact, there's so called freehand sketch.
Yeah.
So I could just sitting down now. I can already imagine you
so
in
good
the
at
picture,
writing
and I
also.
just like
Writing also.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just the right
I sit
side.
down here and immediately start writing immediately.
Beautiful. But that is part of artist, that type of creativity. So what will you say? Do you understand the right, the left?
I think
Or you are more right?
I'm the left.
Left.
Because I think in words,
In words, yeah.
mean a lot to me. Now I know
Yes.
why I have issues with my husband, because I pick words, like every word
Yes.
is very serious to me.
Like me too, yeah.
Yes, and I also think in points, like you're
Points.
talking. I'm interested. Please make the
Statistics,
point.
points,
What is
yes.
the point you're
You are
making
trying to make,
in this
yeah.
whole talk? So I think I know now that I'm on the level. But from what you're saying, talking about being able to be all, my little confusion, because I was going to ask that question. Even when the moment you put this thing up, I had a conversation with my husband earlier today, and I was saying my first son is analytical and my second is creative.
Okay.
So we were already talking about how we channel.
them, yeah.
Yes. So my confusion right now is I was thinking that your strength is an indication of your area.
Okay.
But if you're now saying that we can be all, how? I mean.
No,
Yeah.
I think first of all you have to develop your strength
Okay.
before you now incorporate. Through that, divergent thinking, you incorporate the strength of the others
The
as
other
well.
one.
Yeah. Because when I discovered that people could see pictures when they are reading Bible or when they are hearing people talk, they could imagine and be seeing the thing. I'll say, how did they do that? I thought they learned it. So I didn't know it's natural for them. So I thought they learned it. That's why I went to take the course. And that, because I said, but people learn it now. So if people learn it, I will learn it too. Because it was later on, during the course of learning, that I now heard that some people are like that even by themselves without learning. I said, For me, it was a surprise.
Yes, and when you were talking about movies, I had always seen people that watch movies as people that don't know what to do with their
The
time.
same thing with. So you understand what I was talking
Honestly,
about?
when you talk about movies, I look at you like, Kai, are you really serious? You mean you can sit down watching a movie?
And then at the end of it, you get 1 point or 2 points. Oh my God!
So
Why are
now
you
I
waiting?
can see that we are really different. People are different. In fact, there was an incident that happened. My husband took me out for movies. Do you know I slept?
I slept through the same thing. I slept through the whole thing.
And he paid. He said, so he just slept away my mom.
So have you been to? Have you? I want to ask. Have you been to Disneyland?
No.
Do you know the whole world is talking about Disneyland? I went there because I needed to take my children there, my family there, just to, But I thought this is not Disneyland. But until I began to walk around, I said, wow, it's like going to the movie also. At least in the movie you can sleep. But in Disneyland, you cannot sleep. You have to walk. So, but for me, it's not interesting.
Yes.
It's not interesting. Going to the park. People here in Europe, you go to the park and just walk around the park. I said, people don't have job. I didn't know that they are seeing beauty of trees and of something. Me, I don't even see anything. I'm just forcing myself to do it. Because I would rather think and, talk and get and reason. Julie, you are probably right? Right and right mind. Right at hemisphere. Because you like creativity.
Yeah, I think for me, I also somehow evolved from left to the right side, because when I was a younger kid, I used to love mathematics, for example, and I was really good in school in mathematics. I was one of the best, and
But even though I was left-sided, which is supposed to be mathematics, but I hated mathematics and I was afraid of mathematics. I was failing until I discovered the key. Because also stereotype could discourage you, and you will think you are not good in it. But with the way I think now, and I reason, you will see that that's mathematics. Now it's easy for me. But in school, I used to think it was difficult because of the rumors, because of the talk. But actually, right side is mathematics. Left.
Yeah, so I somehow evolved to the right side, right brain side. I don't know where it happened, but I think
it's the same thing like with Vitalis, because it means that is your natural. So once you discover it, you jump into the river.
Yeah, because for me, when I started reading, I was very young, and I used to read a lot of novels, and I think that developed my imaginative side, where I was able to look to see the pictures and the stories that I was reading, and then I just became more visual. So for me, I would walk around the park, and for me that would be amazing.
it
I
would
would
be good?
love it. Yeah, I would look at the trees. I would.
But with us, for example, when we are walking around the park, we don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's just like you are just moving your your leg around the head. That's all. Is it the way you have suffering?
For me, it's the total opposite. I would see so much. I could write a story about the
Are you
trees
serious?
I see. Yeah. Even when I go to watch movies, for me,
Hey.
it's not. I wouldn't come back with two things. I would have a whole
No,
whole
you
lessons
mean it?
that I would learn. Yeah.
No, you
So-
are not. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, so based on what I see, even when I read the Bible, I actually thought of it when. Yes, when I heard Chris talking about the Bible, for me it helps me more if I have it in audio format, for example.
Yes.
Or, yeah, I have this Bible app where they even somehow make it very animative. Yeah, and you hear the steps.
I have it, but I cannot listen to. I'm not even using it.
Yeah, for
I
me it's
listen
so
to
helpful.
it just, but I say, why should they waste all these resources to do this thing?
Yeah.
For me, it's better to just read.
Yeah, to me, when I have just a text like this, it's difficult. I have to really be in a quiet zone in order to fully concentrate, and then I can have my imagination start to run, because otherwise I'll see the words and then I immediately forget what I read.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I can read and read and read, and then it just
Is that so?
yeah.
Like your books, if I'm reading your
But you know what? Why I started writing my books the way I started writing it? Because I discovered that a lot of people, most people in this whole world, they like movies. They are not like me. They like music. For example, I don't understand people just go playing music or just all that, you know. Or they like to read stories, you know, story books or what they call it, novels.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's a waste of time. I would rather read studying something that I will study something, not just some novel and just get excited. You know, it's a waste of life for me. But what I think is that people like it, so I develop a methodology whereby I now write my books because to meet the needs of the whole world. That most people are like that. They want to see pictures. If you read my books now, you will see that it's always in pictures.
Always with stories.
Yes, and you're almost like in a movie. That is the way.
Makes
But you know
sense.
that is not me. You remember stories? But do you know that even me that write those stories, I don't remember that when I finish writing it. I know. I'm not interested in it. I just write it to illustrate the point. It is the point.
Wow.
It is the point that
But the point sticks with the story.
Yeah, but for me, I don't need the story for the point to stick. So people tell me that it is the examples, illustrations that they remember. But me, no. I remember the point. It is the point that is the main thing for me.
Wow.
Can you believe it? But I really want to find out from Mayowa. I think you should be left-sided, no? Or
I was just thinking, I think
you have to come and see this. Come and see the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think now that we are mentioning it, then we have to be careful, especially in the school settings where kids are being taught. Because most of these things are supposed to help the students from the younger age while they are growing up, for them to identify which area is their area of strength and use it to develop their life and their career path in life.
But you see, talking about we have to be careful. What came to me now, what you have just said, you know, people are not careful in America. All those Hollywood films, you know, the shooting, why it's becoming rampant? It's because those children, they have right side. Like you saw Lion, you saw Lion, and they are seeing shooting.
Yes.
And they are going to recreate it.
Exactly.
Even when I see wounds, I start imagining the wound and I will pain me.
No.
I feel pain, yeah.
So
Shineke. No, that one is too much.
Graphic image. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Some
watch.
people. So yeah, like if I see something gory, I will never show it to her. She will start crying.